Hello guys, this is your guide Donato, and today we're gonna teach you how to make a Baldi Fangame. First, let's try making a mode, but the variable should be camera shake if camera shake effects. We'll do it later. Health points based on how you collect the node blocks and the boss fight's health. Fire bullets for the projectiles or the Visoda. If we need to look around, 3D camera. 3D camera and mouse pointer lock will help us. If we're health bar, we also need a progress bar, for example. But let's do the walls. Let's do a floor if you want to do a body fan game first. Let's try doing a map. We'll just set up a texture example for a floor. This, this. Then we can make a map, for example. We can make our map as short so the tutorial cannot be as long if you don't want to wait for like minutes. Falala. Never wakes up, never wakes up. She never woke up. And she never seen the good yet. She never woke up. Beep beep. Okay, I think I okay. So sorry about that. I think I forgot the other text there. If I do it wrong. Even better, we got the better floor. Not just the left image now. Yeah, it will be all the six images, not just the left one. Elderly gamer. Yes, we're making a Baldi's Basics map. Now, after you've done your map, your floors, then you shall do a player-like object. Which can be like 50 or 70 max to not know because yeah, if more than 70, then 70 of the width, height, and depth will definitely just get stuck in the map and can't fit. So yeah, we're gonna make it by 44, for example. 44, for example. You can do it whatever big size you want. You want. Let's just do a logo of the player, for example. For example, it will just be red. This is supposed to be an example of a player. Of a player. Now, all we need is the player to be here. Is it to be a 50 or the 40 or 60 or 7 or more than 70 if you want. If you want. No, in 60 and 70, I did not say that to number meme. I did not refer to number meme. Also, if we want to make a look behind system, we could just duplicate the player before adding the player's variables and behaviors, and make a jump scare camera system for a jump scare happens. The jump scare happens. Player, uno testito con nessuno. Oh. Now I'm gonna make some rooms, for example, for notebooks. It's okay if you don't want to in your fan games, in GDEVELOP fan games. For example, we're gonna use 3 notebooks. You got it right. Now this is your big map. Now we need a beginning to the scene. Beginning to a scene. Add trigger once. First, let's do a mouse button pressed. Left. To request the points are locked. Just in like any of other Bally fan games. Now we can do pointers locked too. And we could give the player the center position if we could do center position if look behind set the yeah, it shall always be in the same position as player, no matter what player moves or not. Like this. But without trigger ones. Without trigger ones. Even the pointer lock too. For in case though. And jumpscare camera. If we don't want to see then this annoying textures on covering our play or point of view, we go just definitely at the hide thing. And the angle of the jump scare camera will be set to the same as players, but except a plus and a 180. Now we're gonna be adding because it will go up bad if it's set to in this angle of player. Now we're gonna add a space key pressed. A space key. To make a look behind similar to Baldi's Basics. Similar to Baldi's Basics. Since this is a tutor of a Baldi's Basics fan game. Baldi's Basics fan game. Hmm. Yeah. Shut up. Middle of a tutorial. Ah. Okay. Now we got our Baldi player. Okay. I think if we need to make player into objects. Since the look behind does not work, does not work when looking up and down. Sorry if I got interrupted by the message. What the? Okay. I think that was the wrong one. That was the wrong one. Yeah, it must be look behind, not the jump scare camera, because jump scare camera has to focus on has to focus on. Now we got working, looking behind. Now all we need to do is make the player to move. We need speed. Player speed. I mean walk speed. Running speed. For example, I'm gonna set the walk speed to 200 and the running speed for 400. And the trigger ones, we're gonna we're gonna make a trigger once and definitely the player speed. The player will speed will be mainly the walk speed. Me mainly set the walk speed because that's the main running speed. The main running speed. Now we need to make a moving system. For example, when the player moves, like in Bali SpaceX. Yeah, which is definitely making out of force angle after the condition key is pressed like W, A, S, and D. However, if you can copy and paste the process, but adding different letters and angles. Like for example, A and negative 90, A and negative 90, S and positive 180, and the W is just nothing. And into D, positive 90. You could definitely also do this W with arrow with the up arrow key. You could definitely do it with the up arrow key in your keyboard. The arrow keys from up, left, down, and right. You can also repeat the process. For example, up. Yes. You can also do it if you want to make it accurate, more accurate to Baldi. And now we got our moving player. Perfect. Now let's set up a UI. Let's set up a UI, a notebook. Possibly a notebook is definitely a collectible. The when collision went fast and not get avoided, 17 for the notebook. We're gonna make it about small as 39, or you can do it as 34 or 23 or 29, 22, but not very small like 17 or 13. But also you must definitely keep the texture transparent too, for example. Like you're gonna do it the body sprites that I'm gonna do. You can definitely do your floor, ceiling, notebook, and body textures by definitely just using some other sprites they made for you, or or your own custom sprites being made in Animator, PaintNet, or Paint 3D, or definitely just make the sprites in Bisco. In Spisco. You can also definitely just do that too. Like for example, I'm using Pisco. Since I don't you could just definitely make also use the textures from your gallery that are not definitely made in Pisco too. Or definitely you can definitely give the size of the Baldi character any size you want. But the width and should definitely the one at the very left should always be big, like 44 or 55 to avoid or 66 to avoid collision or no clip to avoid that. And now here we got our book, we got our notebook sample. We're gonna add the notebooks and definitely just keep them by 20 by 29. Now we're gonna rotate them by 100 and 100. 1,350. So it can always not be at the wrong direction of the angle. Now perfect. You got your notebook system. Now we need a notebook collection word. We need notebook collecting like stuff. So you can definitely just import some fonts and download them, or definitely just choose the ones from Asset Store if you want to do a font. I'll use Glory Halahushas, for example. Yeah, you go do it like this, or like just this, or like this, or definitely just I'll just choose the three notebooks. I'll just put in notebooks as a joke, as a joke. You can definitely make any collectible like a notebook. You can definitely put it in the size of a one, but just less than 88 because it cannot cover the whole screen though. Just make it small for in case though. Now we need a text number that definitely makes it indicate when you collect the notebooks you collected. Yes, also should have a number variable 0 and definitely should be set to that. Now you have your own special your own special HUD for the three notebooks. Now we need to make an objects group of all the objects you made that should rotate to the players and look behind angle. We should add that. We should definitely add these in the space key conditions. But do not waste time. We could just do 0. We could just do rotate the 0 angle to the angle 0. We could copy a process in the space keys press inverted condition with a player's angle. Or you could definitely do objects to a player angle positive 180 at the one that the space key is not expressed in condition that is not inverted. Condition that is not inverted. And now your notebooks can rotate and look at your angle. Sorry about that. Now we need a wall system. A wall system. Wall system. We could just do by 13 by or 17. We could just do the size by 100 or 88 or any by 100 and less and if you want. But not vary to 1 or something. Okay. We're gonna just choose 88. We're gonna choose any wall texture if you want. For example, for for example, since you can definitely just use sprites by collecting these from your gallery from your on the sprites that your friends send you on Discord or GameShoot, or just make your own textures from Piskel or Animator or Paint 3D. Animator or Paint 3D or PaintNet or any editing soft or any making software. Perfect. ¿Qué pasó antes? Perfect. You got your wall system. You got your wall system. You got your own wall. Now let's test how big the wall is. How tall it is. Normally tall. But also does not forget to add a separate. So we can both separate just both objects. And we won't have to no clip. Note that this is for your Baldi fan game. We go to definitely make a Baldi. Just definitely add face to a left texture only. On add texture to the left face only because the others will have to be disabled though. Sorry. Now we got our Baldi like enemy. Enemy. We're gonna just definitely do 77, but 77 though. For the no clipping. Now we got our Baldi like enemy. We got our Baldi like enemy. We could just for decorating also add a ceiling, which is just definitely set the the position over there to the wall's depth. The same number. Now for the Baldi, let's make a behavior to add some health. 4, for example. We could definitely also get a variable where where he starts to chase you, or and also gets angry, starts getting angry. Speed, slap speed could be any same as player speed, but I go just definitely choose more than the player speed. The time to move will be set to 1, for example. For example, yeah, but if more than 1 equally means you're making slower, just slower. Now we go just to make a listening with notebooks when the variable angry of the Baldi's false J start of the Baldi's false are true. Notebook. Variable value Baldi for a choke is false. Then just delete the notebooks. Delete the notebooks. And for example for text collect, let's set it to freaking let's set text number set to its own variable. To its own variable. Now all we need is text number variable adding one, and the health points. The Baldi getting applied damage to an object. Yes, applying. But if the variable if Baldi is true, it's true, then also the Baldi speed will definitely can either increase or stay the same speed. I'll just definitely I'll just definitely let the slot speed increase, and we have to subtract some time to move stuff. Decrease that time, but slot speed still increase though. And for health point, or for Baldi, If a baldi equal to 2 and the trigger wants on it, to hide the baldi, we're just gonna set the elevation to a very low number. We're gonna set the elevation of the baldi to 9 because since the floor is 9, but 8 since the floor is if the floor is three position state, then 8. But now we're doing 9, for example. And we're gonna add the variables of the baldi, if chase starts set to true and angry set to true. Angry set to true. Angry set to true. Now we need if the variable angry is true, and if we and the speed equals to 0, then we're gonna have to do a wait time to move seconds. Wait baldi time to move. Time to move. Time to move. And we're gonna set the speed of baldi to baldi slap speed. Slap speed. We could just repeat the process, but definitely swap the speeds here to make the slap full. Baldi slap speed and set to 0. Now let's test our moving baldi. Okay, I forgot to add the baldi to objects. The baldi to objects. The baldi. The baldi. We're definitely making a ball. Since this is a Baldi's Basics FANGAME tutorial, we got 1 out of 3 notebooks. Now, to trigger the baldi, let's add 2 out of 3. Well, we forgot some special stuff. Let's make the wall impassable for pathfinding. But since it's 77, then the hitbox is a baldi, then the baldi won't no-clip. Let's also not forget the pathfinding on the baldi. To make him actually move. To make them actually move. Move. Forget the surge and the max speed and rotate off check. We're gonna move our baldi to the player's destination. And the speed on the pad of baldi will definitely just be the baldi speed. A baldi speed variable. Baldi speed! And let's repeat it but with the max speed on the pads. Repeat it. To make it complete. Now let's need to separate the baldi from the walls too. The baldi from the walls. The baldi. The baldi's basics from the walls. Let's add another layer of walls. Of the freaking walls. And let's see how our no-clip test works. Or collision test works. Look. We just added some walls, for example. Let's try first way. By just luring him the other way. Now we got a moving baldi. Yes. Now he doesn't no clip. Then now let's see what makes him faster. Our baldi's now fast. Equal to yes. Now we got your working walls, your working baldi, and your working player. Now let's make an exit system. exit system. Equals to speed of 13. But the exit just lets remove the variable so it won't move. Now we could just definitely make another texture for the exit. It could be either orange. It could be either orange. Or you could just definitely do any random shape of the exit. Or just do an exit at bottom arrow shape. To keep the default one. This exit I'm making sprite right now looks like a freaking fire. But in a spiral-like way. Because I'm just as creative as more creative than AI. Than AI. Let's make an exit system. You could just repeat the exits. Which was definitely damaged. Now you got. Let's add a windscreen. You could just definitely add any random text to a windscreen or any random sprites. But it can be either black or white, for example. You go definitely just to make it full screen, just add enable full screen or and allow full screening. Full screening. You go do a player collision with exit. And we go just trigger the if the health points of Baldi 1, then the exit will be at the position 9. The 9. Let's set the position of the exit to low numbers the Baldi. And if the player collides with the exit and the position of the exit is 9, we also definitely can do apply 1 point of damage to Baldi, or just do Baldi instead, and we could just definitely instantly go to a windscreen for the exit. Or we could just definitely do this way, the other way around, like that way. Now let's test our working exit and our working Baldi. Second book. Sorry if it's just a freaking rectangle. That's my example. Shucks, run! 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 I know you got a perfect winning screen.